Assalamu alaikum. You are watching the tutelage and I am Malik. So students, today we are going to discuss 18th century novel. What is novel and what are the reasons for the growth of novel, for the rise of novel in 18th century. So keep watching. We are going to start now. So what basically the novel is. So student, a novel is a fictitious prose narrative tale which paints the real picture of life. So novel is basically a fictitious prose. It's a narrative tale. It paints the real picture of life. It pictures the realism. It paints the realism. It paints the reality of people in the world. So there were plenty of novels before 18th century, but they did not give real picture of life. A novel is the combination of two things. Basically, novel is the combination of two things. It is combined by using two things. What are those things? So those things are, first one is intellect and the other one is imagination. So when these two things combine, then the real picture of life is painted. These two things combine in order to paint the real picture of life. So you might have known what the novel is and what is the definition of novel. So we are going to discuss the reasons for the growth of novel in 18th century. So what was the reason? Why the novel grown in 18th century? So there are basically 6 reasons for the growth of novel, for the rise of novel in 18th century. First reason was the rise of middle class. As you know that in 18th century there was a system of industrial revolution. Industrial revolution came into being existence, and due to tremendous growth in trade and commerce, the middle class was becoming rich and rich. Therefore, the middle class wanted to excel in literature also, but they were neglected by the high-born writer, by the newborn writer, and they have no interest in those writers at all. They were not interested in those writers. Therefore, in literature, the taste and aspiration was given a shape to this class, to the middle class. And the middle class started reading stories and novel, and in this response, novel was brought in literature in 18th century. The second reason was Greek and Roman classic writers. So there were no model for novelists to follow, and therefore they had no choice, and they accepted whatever was written by these Greek and Roman classic writers. The third reason is use of easy language, or we can say that the invention of newspaper and magazine is important event in the growth of novel. As we have studied that in magazine and in newspaper there was very easy language. It was simple. It was printed in simple language, and there was no use of exaggeration. It was the newspaper and the magazine were not so journalistic and not so simple, but the easy language was used in magazines and newspaper. Therefore, people started reading newspaper and magazine, and in this response, it showed that people are interested in easy language and they can easily understand the easy language. So the novel was originated in this response for the readers, for the users of easy language. The fourth reason is the role of women. So this type of literature, which was originated in 18th century, appealed to women. Even Joseph Addison and Richard Steele felt that the women could do a lot in setting the tone of society. In 18th century, women were allowed to take part in activities of men, but women were not allowed to take part in front of administration. And during industrial revolution, when machinery came into being existence, so women had some leisure time, and in leisure time women started reading novel, because now the machinery was invented, and those work which can be done by using the machinery, by using the hand, by using the time of women, now can be produced by using machinery. So women were now a little bit easy, and they started novel in their easy time. The fifth reason is the rise of realism. In 18th century, realism was increasing. People were painting the real picture of life. They they concerned towards realism, towards reality. They concerned towards reality. They painted the original and clear picture of real life. Their concern was toward vices rather than virtues. So it was the reason for the growth of novel. As we know that the novel is the thing, is a fictitious prose that paint the real picture of life. So people were painting the real picture of life. There was increase in the realism. So novel was originated in this response. The sixth reason is decline in drama. In 18th century, there was a downfall in the field of drama, and there was need of something else to take its part, to take the place of drama. So, in place of drama, the novel was originated. Why novel was originated? Because drama was declining and people had nothing to read, nothing to enjoy. Therefore, they were produced. So therefore, people were given novel to read. And the seventh reason is increasing libraries. In 18th century, the number of libraries was increasing and the number of readers were also increasing. Therefore, the novel originated.